Everybody listen up, okay? We are relentless, as individuals and as a team. We work harder together, we play harder together, we help each other non-stop. We are ruthless, we are persistent, and together we will compete with strength and play with unbelievable confidence. Who are we? We are a brick in a wall of defense. We are a machine in the midfield. We are non-stop in attack. We will work for each other with tireless effort, and nothing and no one will stop us. Nothing and no one.
In January 2014, Manchester City Women's Football Club was launched. Built on the foundations of Manchester City Ladies, the club announced that it would now compete in the highest level of domestic women's football, entering the FA Women's Super League for the first time.
The women's team existed for a number of years, and we always had the idea to bring it in the club and share and offer the same support that we offer to all the other teams.
The club are fully committed to making sure that this is if not one of the best programme in women's football.
And we had a good team, you know, that had performed very well in the Northern Premier League as it was then, and finished 5th in their first season. You know, the likes of people like Crystal and Abby and a few of the other girls, you know, but there was always going to be a need to strengthen.
Obviously it was really good for the club, like we could see who they was bringing in, we knew that they wanted to do it and they were serious about it, but it also made you think, right, you've got to work hard, like get your game together and really like be serious about it.
For me personally, to think that I'd be training with these players day in, day out was fantastic, and for my development I knew it was only going to make me a better player.
Like every team, you need to make sure your spine is solid, and I think our recruitment sort of reflected that in many respects.
On the 15th of November 2013, the first ever signing for Manchester City women's team was announced. Jill Scott signed from Everton after 7 years with the Merseyside club.
I think at the time I just felt I was ready for a change. I'd been at Everton for 7 years and I just felt the time was right for me to move on and maybe step outside of my comfort zone a little bit. And when Manchester City approached us, I came down, looked at the facilities, looked at the plans that they've got for the next few years and was blown away by them really.
Jill was soon followed to the club by fellow internationals Tony Duggan, Karen Bardsley and Steph Horton.
It was a really tough decision to leave Arsenal, but as soon as I spoke to Manchester City, I was really impressed by the plans for the future, the willingness to compete at such a high level for every trophy, and the ability to train every day was a massive thing for me personally to try and improve myself as a player.
Gavin drove to the Manchester airport to meet me and have the conversation and a presentation, and that meant that they were obviously serious about what they were doing, and they're obviously interested in me enough to do that.
I think what attracted me to Man City was the facilities that they had. I think training full time, I could never have turned that down. I think as a kid I've always wanted to be a professional footballer, and to be honest with you, I never thought that I would ever get the chance, and I thought it would miss my generation. So for Manchester City to offer me that was something I could not turn down.
The next player to join was New Zealand international Betsy Hassett, as well as Jess Holbrook from Liverpool and 22-year-old Isabel Christiansen, who signed from Birmingham.
Couldn't not look at what they had to offer and their ambitions going forward, and the way they wanted to sort of embrace women's game and take it to the next level. And this is just the start, I think.
The man selected to take charge of City Women in their first season was Nick Cushing. The 29-year-old lives in Ellesmere Port with his wife Claire and his two sons, 4-year-old Harry and 1-year-old Frankie.
Yeah. So, joined in 2006 as a volunteer. I started off, I was doing some grassroots coaching around here, and somebody who I was coaching with knew somebody that worked in the junior academy at the time. I used to drive up there every Sunday. The junior academy still runs now, 10 till 12, with the 4 to 8-year-olds. So it's good to, when we go in and do our pre-match on a Sunday morning before home games, we see them. It's nice to see them still there. Who's your favourite player? Harry supports Man City, but the only players he knows are the players in our team. So if you ask him who his favourite players are, then he'll say Tony or Steph or Jill or Karen.
Having previously managed in the junior section of the academy, ranging from under-9s to under-14s, the opportunity to manage in a professional league was one that couldn't be passed up.
I think at the time it was an easy decision, because at the time I was between teams at the academy. I was doing a supporting role, supporting the coaches at 12s, 13s and 14s. So at the time I'd expressed an intent to lead a team. So at the time it was an easy decision because I wanted to be a lead coach. The fact that it was a first team and it was a team that were playing for points was something that I've always wanted to do, and something that I've sort of prepared myself to do, previously. Initially I just want to make sure that we're competitive and we hold our own, really, and do the club justice, because we are who we are. This is what I see. A million chances pass me by.
On January 20th, less than 3 months from the team's first ever competitive fixture against Reading, the whole squad met for the first time at their base for the season, Platt Lane. As well as a training session, it was a chance for the management to explain what would be expected of them as Manchester City players.
Bit of a momentous occasion for us here at the club. The very first training session and first time we've had everyone in the room. It's been a long time planning over the last however many months, and it's all now starting to feel a little bit real and a little bit scary maybe for some people. It's about you girls getting to know each other as well, because we're a new team and we will be going away February the 10th to the 14th. You and the girls, we're going to La Manga. Your face. Tony was told me she was going to Dubai. Yeah. Yeah. Our first game of the season is actually going to be the FA Cup, but then our first league game is Liverpool away, midweek fixture. So a nice easy one to get going with.
It was a really good session. I think we only trained for an hour and a half, and it was good tempo, and it was just finally glad to be able to train.
Yeah, it was good, very good. Good to watch as well. So, hey, we was conscious tonight of doing a bit too much talking, and so we've had a little game of six-a-side and done a little bit of possession, but it was very good. Tempo was very quick, hard to watch at times, so quick but it was good, very good. But what you do now, I'll cool down? Yeah. Well done. I enjoyed it. Well done.
Come on, girls.
You have to come into the ball to get on it. There you go, in between. She's doing that. She's a day ahead.
On the 20th of February, the team arrived in La Manga for their pre-season training camp. As well as putting in the hard yards, it was a chance for the players to get to know each other.
I think that trip was really good, because some of the girls were only really seeing them twice a week, so it was hard for us kind of to get that team spirit going. So for us all to go away for a week, nice weather, and kind of it was more, the training wasn't really that hard, it was more about kind of the downtime and socialising. I think it was really important for us, and we'll come back from that trip and we're much more together as a team.
Whoa, mysterious girl, I wanna get close to you, so close to you, my baby.
The season kicked off with a visit to Reading in the FA Women's Cup. After pre-season wins against Durham and Aston Villa, confidence was high for the club's first ever competitive game.
Felt good. I think as a striker I'm always pressurising myself anyway, and especially when I've come to a new club I wanted to prove myself, whether they've seen footage of me or not, or they've seen me play in the past. I'm that type of person that if someone new comes in, I want to prove myself to them and I want to play well. So to get them goals, it really lifted the weight off my shoulders, and then I could settle in then, and thankfully more goals came.
Yeah, good game. We went 1-0 up. they equalised, and it was tough for the last 30 minutes, and Tony scored and we got the win. So yeah, really pleasing and real good feeling after it.
I mean, people reacted a little bit better and trying to read the play. And they won. They didn't win any first or second balls. I can say if you say in the second half.
We need to take that into players as well. People that were getting on the ball, same players. We don't change our mentality.
I remember the night before being extremely excited because I think we played on the Thursday night and the other Super League teams played on the Wednesday.
Put all your headphones and that in your bags ready to go. Phones go away now.
For some of those girls, it was the first time they'd ever set foot in a game of such magnitude, let alone for it to be the first game of the WSL season.
The league decided to put it on BT Sport and put it live on the television, so not only was I preparing a team for the game and preparing a team to play against the champions, last season's champions, but I also had to do pre-match interviews, half-time interviews. We had a camera in our dressing room. Get yourself sat down. Last bit, this is the most relaxed you'll be for the next 90 minutes. Listen, the messages will be different throughout the whole of the first part of the season. The messages are this. This ain't me trying to play it down. I'm not trying to play this down to you and say, hey, this doesn't mean a lot, this is the first game. This is the first game of a season that will go from now, tonight, right the way through till October. So long, long, long season. And there's one thing you've got to do, one thing you must do, and one thing that if you play here, you have to bring, and that's 100% effort. That's fight, that's spirit. You've got to bring that. And if you're a professional, that's in you anyway. And the feelings you've got now just might be suppressing them at the minute. It's in you. That's why you're here. Somebody and some people and this club saw something in you to put you in this dressing room now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Somebody would be in your seat. It's a fact. It's a fact. A lot of people have gone by the wayside and a lot of players have been looked at. You're our squad and we're more than happy with our squad. So listen, go out there, enjoy it, fight for your team, fight for the points, and fight for the right to play our football. Earn the right to get it down and play. And if they press us, meet the challenge head on. If it has to be a train crash, it's a train crash. But you meet their challenge. They don't intimidate you, they don't outwork you, they don't outpressure, and they don't outplay you. I can't make you do it, you can make yourself. You've got it in you, it's why you're here, okay? So go out and prove to yourself, and people here that are watching you, and your teammates, that you know what? You deserve to be here, okay?
Come on, it's going to take all of us in here today, every single one of us.
I felt like a little bit of like anxiety, like a bit of nervous energy, which it was fine, you know, it was great, but I thought, well, you know, this would be a great opportunity to read this incredible quote.
We are relentless, as individuals and as a team. We work harder together.
Earlier in the day, Jill Scott had sent an amazing quote from Dan Abrahams.
We are ruthless. We are persistent. Together we will compete with strength and play with unbelievable confidence.
I love reading all about the psychology behind football, and I think it's really important. I think you see a lot of players who have amazing talent but they never really make it to that next level because they might not be mentally strong enough. So I think it's just a really big side of it, and I think when you play your best and the team play well, it's always because everyone's so motivated and so up for the games. So they actually came from a man called Daniel Abrahams, who's wrote a lot of books on psychology. I think he's worked with England men before, and I just got in touch with him through Twitter, and I just kind of before games sometimes ask for a few words depending on where our season's at. So it might be we're going into a game on the back of 2 defeats, can you give us some uplifting words? And he always delivers, so he kind of sent them to me, and then I said to Karen Bardsley she could read them out in our American accent. It might be a bit more motivating than my Macam accent.
And nothing and no one will stop us. Nothing and no one.
Last season's WSL champions were fast out of the blocks and put Cushing's side under some heavy early pressure.
We had to ride the storm a little bit in the first 20 minutes. Liverpool came at us and I think we kind of got caught a little bit, a few inexperienced players handling a big occasion live on television.
I don't know if you expected it, but I expected that. So they came for you, and you've gone, no. We're a new team, but you know what? We're made of steel here. So well done.
Here's Dowie on the move, and she's in. Worrell's come to meet her. Dowie! Breakthrough!
They really wanted to beat us, and I think you'll see that when they scored the goal, it was like a cup final. It was, the crowd was really loud. Their manager was on the pitch, their coaching staff was jumping up. So that was probably the point where I realised, everyone wants to beat us.
Unfortunately, we lost the game, but it was a good experience for us as a club and for the players that had made a big step up from Manchester City of last season to this season.
One mistake and they scored, yeah? We get this out of our heads, we recover properly tomorrow, we go again Sunday, yeah? We've seen the final, no less than that. We give that every single week. We're City, we play with our hearts, yeah? 100% all the time, recover, we go again, yeah?
However, in the weeks that followed the loss at Liverpool, the team succumbed first to Bristol Academy and were then knocked out of the FA Women's Cup by Chelsea. The new squad's mental toughness was being tested to the maximum, and the next game at Doncaster Bells became a huge one. It would end up being a turning point in the Blues season.
The defeat against Doncaster, I've never felt like that in football. I've lost cup finals, I've lost many important games. It was a real low point and our confidence was low, and it was kind of where do we go from here?
Fourth defeat of our first 4 games, and as a young manager you question yourself whether you're ready for this and whether you're at this level.
And of course you worry when you're on 4 defeats. It's something that I'm not used to previously, apart from when I was younger in the Sunderland days, and it's not a nice feeling, but I knew that we had some talented players in this, and it meant that the big players had to step up and they have to kind of take a little bit more extra responsibility, and I feel as though the next game at the Etihad, I think it was just meant for us to go and win, and to go and win at such a nice stadium and have the privilege to play there. We just very deserved that victory, and that was the turning point.
Next up for the Blues was Everton, and a chance to put some points on the board. The game carried extra significance for former toffee Tony Duggan, who spent 6 years at the Merseyside club.
It was always going to be hard to leave Liverpool. That was all I ever known. But yeah, I feel settled now, just finding my feet. I think I still need a hairdressers around here and someone that can do my makeup, but once I find that, I think I'll be sorted. When I had my last meeting with Everton and they couldn't give me what I wanted, that made my mind up, so I was happy then. Whereas if they'd have come back and they'd have said, Tony, yeah, you can train full time every day like everyone else in the league, and yet you can't, yet we will bring in new faces and get more quality in the team, then I'd have probably had an even tougher decision to make. Like, it'd have been, I don't know, I'd still been making it now.
For the first few months of the season, Duggan trained with the other 6 full-time players, as well as occasionally training with the under-18s boys team. In the summer, the club would take the decision to bring the entire squad full-time to give the team the best chance of competing in the WSL. Natasha Flint's last-minute winner was the boost the team needed. The relief was evident and got the Blues off the mark in their Continental Cup campaign.
We probably wasn't going to win that game any differently than we did with a scruffy goal in the 89th minute, but what a huge goal, and for Tash, a young player, a really important goal for her belief as being part of this squad, and yeah, I think that just set us up to believe, we've got our first win, let's kick on now and let's start our season.
10 days after beating Everton, Cushing's side faced Liverpool again in the Continental Cup, and it would turn out to be a big game for one player in particular. Fullback Abby McManus was released by the club when trials were held in January.
I've been at the club 5 years. I joined at the under-16s and I actually captained the under-16s for my first year coming from Bury. Just as the takeover was happening, unfortunately I didn't get the chance to be involved with the women's team. So I went to Sheffield, had a season at Sheffield. Nick Cushing was the new manager, so I rang him. I knew that he had some injuries to the players, and I really wanted to be a part of the women's team, and I'm glad that it's happened.
Having been given a chance by Cushing, McManus grabbed it with both hands, becoming a regular in the starting 11. And it was to be in the game against Liverpool that she would get her awards.
I just thought to myself, when the cross was going in, this is going to come to the edge, this is going to come to the edge. Just bounced in front of me on the edge of the 18 and I just struck it. Went in the top right, I don't think I'll ever forget it. The celebrations after were quite embarrassing, but it was a great feeling.
The Blues now had momentum and claimed their first league points with a fine away win against Arsenal. Duggan got the goal, but it was Karen Bardsley's save of the season that really won the points. A fourth win in a row was racked up at home to Everton, with Jill Scott grabbing her first goal in sky blue.
We lost 4 and everybody's putting us out there, City this, City that. Hey, we don't judge ourselves and anyone else, but be proud that you put it right. You've been professional and put it right, and I think it feels great to have gone 4 games, 4 wins. It sets us up to go back in July now, work hard, get back on the training pitch and put it right. But I cannot be more prouder for everyone. You sort it out and you put it right, so well done.
The momentum would be halted by an extended international break, meaning the club wouldn't play for 5 weeks. But it also meant the transfer window opened, and ahead of signing from the Swedish league, Paula Radke was given a site tour of the new City Football Academy that's set to be their home for the 2015 season.
The reasoning for bringing Paula in, Chelsea Nightingale was playing exceptionally well with Steph Orton. She's a young central defender, and she needs to improve her game, as does every player. For us to have balance and to have a real balance in our style of play, we needed a left-footed central defender to play left-sided central defence. She's a real winner. So, it was an exceptional signing for us, and it's shown in her performances in the games.
Radke wouldn't be ready in time for Birmingham in the Super League. After 39 days without a game, the team struggled to a 2-0 defeat at Solihull with a lacklustre display.
Obviously we just weren't at it today, and we've got our standards and we just didn't meet them.
It was back to the drawing board in training, but the team had the chance to redeem themselves with the opportunity to reach the Continental Cup semi-final by winning their next 2 games. First up was Sunderland, and a debut for Radke.
With the win to start is perfect, so I already said to the girls, let's make winning a habit.
And make it a habit they did. Firstly, they beat Durham 3-0 to clinch a spot in the Continental Cup semi-final. Then they faced Notts County in the Super League, and youngster Natasha Flint showed why she's so highly thought of at the club.
I was just thinking there was loads of space, so I just thought I'd just run into it, see if the play comes towards me, but play just kept backing away. And then the keeper wasn't really at front post, she wasn't really defending it, so I just thought I'd just go for it. Yeah, I love it, like going full time as well now. Like instead of going in the mornings or going at the night, I love it. Like I enjoy all the girls are great, get along with them really well. I think we all get along as good as a team. Yeah, I think everyone's enjoying it.
After game week 6, the WSL table was starting to look a little more promising. Birmingham had got off to an impressive start, whilst Everton were yet to record a league win. City had sealed Continental Cup qualification and had drawn Chelsea in the semi-final, to be played at Hyde on the 7th of September.
Come on, 1-2 left, 2, come on, anything. Uppercut, 1-2, whatever you want, something different, don't do the same old, same old.
They've been coming for about 8 months now, and they've gone from having no idea at all, being a bit intimidated walking in the gym. Now it's like the second home, so they seem to enjoy it, and we enjoy having them here.
Moving bags, you're going to go all the way around. You go all the way around the back, all the way around the gym.
Personally, I think they're really good for the team. Like we've done a lot of things, and it's all about team bonding and working for each other, but also using our bodies in different ways. We're all used to running around a pitch and kicking a ball about, but when it comes to like the real graft and like boxing, we all know that it's every man for himself on there, but when we're in the team, we've got everyone behind us, so it's just about building that bond and, you know, getting us all together.
Boxing's awesome. We've just started to actually start sparring each other, which is really fun. We have to wear the whole helmets and the mouth guards in case we get a big hit, but it's such an intense workout and it's really good for us, and it's just good to change it up during the week to get your mind off football and do something else that's physical.
There's a few characters, a few that need a good hiding, and I've given them one. Yeah, again, I won't individualise them and say who's the best because that would just embarrass them. But yeah, some particularly decent boxers, and you know, if they don't make it in the football in the future, then I'll be more than happy to take one here because some of them are naturally gifted and at boxing.
Chelsea away was the first of 4 Super League games before the big semi-final showdown. Natasha Flynn's dazzling solo goal was not enough to get anything from the game. A week later, and Liverpool travelled to Manchester, Joey Johnston's early deflected strike grabbing all 3 points for the Blues. It was an afternoon to forget when Arsenal were in town after almost a month without a game. After meeting club chairman Khaldoon Al-Mubarak before kick-off, Cushing's side were dominated from start to finish by the informed Gunner side, inspired by Danielle Carter. The away trip to Notts County was just 4 days before the semi-final, and competition for places was fierce. The team meeting would reveal that Cushing had opted to leave out regular starters Betsy Hassett and Izzy Christiansen.
Brutally honestly, no, I didn't expect it, but I mean, you'd be deluded to think that football's just a plain sailing road, and it certainly wasn't. And although I didn't expect it and I didn't know it was coming, it was kind of, now I look back and think that like perhaps it was the right decision at the time, and maybe it was what I needed to kind of not become so comfortable and kind of always strive for more and strive to be better and improve on and off the training pitch.
I think it was good for us. It was built us as people, and like we could be stronger for the next game. So I think it was important to give some younger people a game time as well, and then just give us a bit of a shock. So we know we have to work for our place in the team.
We had the semi-final at Chelsea that was 4 days after that, so it gave us a good chance to rest key players, but then also give other players that are a vital part of the squad the chance to win a shirt for the semi-final.
One of the players given their chance was 17-year-old central midfielder Kira Walsh. The younger players in the squad were now beginning to stamp their mark on the club.
I think people always talk about kind of who a Manchester City signing and all this, but I think what they've done well is brought through the young players. Tash has scored a couple of spectacular goals this season. She can go and achieve whatever she wants, in my opinion, if she puts in the hard work. I think recently you've seen Georgia and Kira have been starting, and I remember being that age and stepping up into kind of this level, this league, and being a bit nervous, but they don't really seem to let anything faze them. They just want to be playing football. And Chelsea as well, and if they all continue to work hard, then they've made massive strides forward already, and it's scary to think where they can go.
Duggan had earned a hard-fought point, and it was an encouraging performance to take into what would be the biggest game of the season so far.
Girls, this is about every single one of us, whether you're starting, whether you're on the bench, whatever, yeah? Just think about when we got beat off Donny, how bad we felt. Let's go and see how well we've done. We've got a semi-final, leave everything on the pitch, 110% from every single one. When you come on, whatever, everything, you just leave on the pitch, everybody's together, we're going in this game, we'll get to a final. Yeah? Everybody together.
Come on, yeah? 1, 2, 3, team! Come on, Blues!
I think if you ask any of the staff and players leading up to the day, I think there was just a feel about us that no matter what, we were going to win the game.
I think in football, you know sometimes if you've won the game before you've even kicked the ball, and that game I definitely knew we'd win it.
It was a really massive, important day for us in terms of our first semi-final, a chance to get to a final, and we performed. That was probably our best performance of the season by far.
I
think everyone on the day was just on it.
It was definitely one of them games you knew, you know, if you made a mistake or missed a tackle, that your teammate was there to back you up straight away.
The atmosphere, obviously, going from the athletics track to Hyde, the fans being so far away and then coming so close, like, the atmosphere was great.
We spoke a lot in a team meeting about our first team and our men's first team in 2011 when they won the FA Cup. And I think that was a major point in the evolution of our first team and in the success that our first team now have. But more about the game against Manchester United in the semi-final, when they, to get to the final, they had that real challenge and that real big game at Wembley, and they went and won that game and got themselves to the final. And we spoke about this being our Manchester United at Wembley and having to go and get over this first big hurdle to give ourselves the opportunity of getting to the final and winning the Continental Cup, and we did that.
We were all from another star. I would say. I don't know how you say it in English, but everybody had a perfect performance and it came together 110% from everyone.
Keep going, come on!
I'd never thought that I'd be playing in such a big cup in the first game of the season in the cup final. The win against Chelsea was just a top day, really.
Yeah! Yes!
Yeah, everyone's emotions were going crazy and there was a few tears, but it was just an amazing feeling and I hope we can get that again after the final.
Listen, just like we spoke about before this morning, the defining moment 2011 for our men's first team, when they beat Man United 1-0, semi-final. They go on and win the cup. This is our defining moment where we go on now and we make sure we win the cup. And the evolution of this team, very, very important day. Can't fault one person. Absolutely excellent.
There were 4 Super League games to contend with before the final. Players would be playing for their places, while others would have a race to be fit in time. City travelled to bottom of the league Everton and ran out comfortable winners with goals from 2 former Toffees, Jill Scott and Tony Duggan. An injury-hit side went down 1-0 to Bristol Academy before title-chasing Birmingham Ladies visited Manchester. Jill Scott's goal levelled for City after Karen Carney's early strike, and the England international Carney popped up in the 86th minute to grab a winner for the Midlands club. City went into the final WSL game against Chelsea with a young-looking side. Alex Brooks made a debut in goal, whilst Georgia Brown and Kira Walsh started at full-back and in midfield respectively. Chelsea needed a win to secure the title, with Birmingham and Liverpool also in the running. Tony Duggan's wonder goal clinched a 2-1 victory for the Blues after a brilliant team performance, but the celebrations were dampened when Abby McManus was sent off, meaning she would miss the final. It was heartbreak for Chelsea, as the result meant that Liverpool would pip them to the title on goal difference, but for City it was the sort of performance they needed, with the biggest game in the club's history on the horizon. City would end up in 5th place in what was an extremely tight season in the Women's Super League, a great stepping stone for the 2015 campaign, with the team hoping their move to the new City Football Academy and their new home stadium will push them on to greater things.
You ready?
The atmosphere in the camp was upbeat, with just 4 days until the club's first ever major cup final, where they'd play Arsenal Ladies at Adams Park in Wickham. Training continued as usual for what, for most of the team, was the biggest game of their lives. In life outside of Platt Lane, 5 of the players had more chance to meet together than most, living in the same apartment block in Manchester, in accommodation provided by the club.
That's a joke. What's my best joke? What do you call a fish with no eyes? Shh. Full floor.
Paula from next door, our left-sided centre-half, is coming round, and believe that Emma Keat might be on her way up as well.
Paula lives next door, and then Tony lives down the ramp, and Kitty lives underneath us. We probably cook together twice a week or something, and then we'd always just come have a cup of tea or like dessert or something together. Kitty's really good at making pancakes, so we all have our specialties.
Paula's, I'm led to believe Paula's made some soup.
Woo, soup!
Soup ist fertig.
Alles klar. For the dessert, we're doing a pavlova. It's a traditional New Zealand Kiwi dessert, and it's really hard to make. It's a meringue, so you have to do the eggs just right. A meringue-like dessert believed to have originated in either Australia or New Zealand and named after Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova. It's typically served with berries and whipped cream. Is this teaspoon or tablespoon?
You need to beat the egg whites first and the salt. So you need 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
Oh, I put it in there.
Did you put it in here? Oh my god, take 3. Look at the sides. Do you think this is pavlova-like? It is.
Okay, go.
Oh, that looks good, guys.
Whoa, look at that!
Oh, that looks great. Wow.
Guys. Should we just leave it on the table?
With dinner served, there was only one thing on the players' minds: the Continental Cup Final.
They've got their sort of blueprint, haven't they? They play football, they play out from the back, and they've got good players like across the whole team. So they're a bit like us, really, in the sense that they want to play football and they want to play through the thirds. And so I guess from that perspective, it'll probably be a really good game, like for the neutrals. I think from our perspective as well, we've got a point to prove, haven't we? Because we got a little bit beaten by them in the league not that long ago.
So excited.
It's like considering like how far we've come as a team to win a cup final and to add like silverware to the team this season. Like, it would just be amazing for all the girls and staff, and it would definitely prove that we are a force to be reckoned with as well.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to give you your shirts. I'm going to name the team now. I'm going to give you a shirt. Then Mark will speak. And then we're going to get on the bus and we're going to go. We're going to do the job. Okay? First one. Captain, Steph Horton. In goal, Karen Bardsley.
As the squad was announced, the players received their match shirts. Inside was a special message, a mantra of the team, and the philosophy which runs throughout Manchester City. It was a chance to make history, a chance to be a hero. Teenage duo Georgia Brown and Kira Walsh should force their way into the team with the performances over recent months. Nikki Harding and Joey Johnston, who have both played for the club for many years, also made the starting 11. Abby McManus would miss out through suspension, whilst Paula Radke overcame the odds to make the bench, having not played since the semi-final.
So just start to clear your mind now, start to get yourself clear of what's your role in this system, what's your role out of possession, what do we expect to see, what's going to make you content at the end. Don't worry about nerves, don't worry about that feeling that you think now is going to make you play bad, because I promise you, there's one way you get rid of that feeling. I'll tell you now. You get rid of that feeling with your first header, your first tackle, your first little contact with one of their players. The reason you're sitting in here now is because, and some aren't, is because 1, you value and believe what this club values and believes. 2, you care. 1, about your football, and 2, about everyone else sitting next to you. And 3, because you're good players. Individually, you deserve to be here, and collectively, you deserve to be here. Some aren't. You are. If you are content, individually and collectively, with your effort, when you come off, that's all we can ask for. Because you know what? If we go together, with and without the ball, you have to be a bloody good team to beat us.
Let's make it a good night, girls, yeah?
Believe in yourself. That's one thing I can say. Believe in yourself, because you know why you play it? Do you know why you're on the bench? Do you know why you're in the squad? Because you believe what we believe and you value what we believe.
Since the League Cup became the Continental Cup, there has only been Arsenal engraved on that trophy. Can Manchester City, in their debut season, change all that tonight?
Settle down, take some deep breaths, settle down. As to be expected, bit of an occasion, fairly young team, new team, first cup final. We started a little bit nervous and a little bit overawed, but you managed to pull it back, stick together, pull together, and I think the second half of the first half was ours.
You've weathered the storm, it's over. Now we go out there the second half and we play our football. Our football now. We're in charge. We're dictating the play. Calm it down, keep playing football, pop the ball around. They're knackered. I'm telling you, they're gone. Trust me, we're going to win this cup final. I'm telling you now, it's ours.
With the header and Arsenal behind. 18 minutes to go. Emma Byrne beaten. Breakthrough is Manchester City's in their first ever cup final. Manchester City in their very first season as the Manchester City women in their very first cup final have written their first piece of history.
Get in!
It hasn't sunk in, I can't believe it. Squad win on a cup final. Get away from
January, yeah, we got the silverware we wanted. Brilliant, everybody. I'm so proud of everyone. Everyone deserves it. Go and enjoy it.
It's just amazing, the best feeling I've ever had, and the squad and the staff, it's just amazing.
Speechless. It's hard to kind of describe this moment because it's been like the complete culmination of our season. Like everything has been leading up to this.
What a feeling it is to win the first cup as a team, new team together. No better feeling.
Get in, Manchester, la la la.
Wow, I think, I can't really explain. I'm just so happy for everyone that's connected with the club, and you can just tell by the celebrations how much it means to someone. We always said that when the men won their first trophy, it kind of was like a catalyst for their seasons, and we want to try and emulate them in terms of winning trophies and always competing, and we've done that today.
What the women's team has done is astonishing. It's incredible. Anybody that has been in football for a while or understands this a bit knows that putting together a team is extremely challenging. It's very difficult. Even if you have very good football players like we have, blending them together and creating a team spirit and creating the way of playing so that they can win, it's very, very difficult. And they've done it in 1 year. It's just amazing.